UCLA absolutely beats down the Utah State Aggies. They're moving on to round two. Let's go, baby.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Locked On UCLA Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for making this show your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever it's your podcast, and it's available on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. It's your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. And hey, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Obviously, what we're doing today is we're reacting to UCLA's dominant win over Utah State. The Bruins win at 72-47. Some wonders where you can see some experts saying, hey, yeah, UCLA is going to lose to Utah State in the first round. And not so fast. Lee Corso there. Not so fast, my friend. Although if they doubted, they were never your friend. The next one, certainly against Tennessee, will be a lot tougher. But right now, we're focusing on the here, the now, and the good. Mick Cronin at UCLA is unbeaten in the round of 64. UCLA moves on in utterly dominant fashion. They finally unleashed the secret weapon, ADAY coming off the bench, and he was absolutely dominant. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 blocks, couple of assists, 1 personal foul. That's as dominant as Monarch could get. I knew in my mind that Mata would be the more dominant big than, say, Abin Gadaretse. It just seemed like UCLA had the more dominant of the size potential in this matchup, and that's really what happened. The Bruins had the size. The one thing I did not like, though, was the fact that Utah State wasn't shooting well. The Bruins kept the Aggies to 4 for 31 from 3. Some of that is some good defense. Some of that is ice-cold shooting. But the Aggies got 16 offensive rebounds. The one thing that's plagued this UCLA team this season has been the rebounding. And in a game that it really didn't matter once it got close to halftime, it's going to be a scary thing if the Bruins cannot come up with rebounds against Tennessee next game. Anyways, let's focus on the good. Mick Cronin has talked about what UCLA needed. That was good guard play. Really good guard play. Skyy Clark comes in, 4 for 7 from 3. He's like, let's roll. It's tournament time, comes up with 14 points. That's not going to be an eye-popping total. You can go look at Tennessee and see that, oh, man, well, their best players put up like 30 points in their game in the first round against Wofford, whatever, right? Against the Terriers. All right, 14 points from a guard. Cool. All right. Eric Daly Jr. put up 14. UCLA's leading scorer didn't even put up 10 points. And that's what's so dangerous is they still beat a scrappy Utah State team when their leading scorer scored less than 10 points by 25. That's how dangerous this team is. Because they're not going to need Skyy Clark to always do something this efficient from 3. It's when ADAY comes in, plays a lot of the minutes. Utah State was like, let's play fast. Let's roll it. And Mick Cronin's like, all right, sorry to my boy Jared Calhoun, but I'm going to come in and wipe the floor. They held the Aggies, who averaged close to 80 points per game, to under 50 in an NCAA tournament game. Well, that's where the travel is one thing. Both teams coming from the western half of the United States, both traveling, similar rest periods. And the Bruins have traveled, so they know what it's like. They've been to the eastern part of the country. Another Eastern time zone victory for the Bruins. And hey, all that hate on Dylan Andrews, I was wondering, would he be a guy that you need as a sleeper in March? I was thinking more late game, but if he plays as efficiently, all right, 8 points, cool, but he had a couple of threes. The Bruins are almost unbeatable when Dylan Andrews in a semi-close game hits 2 threes. This season, UCLA has like 1 loss and like 7 wins. Don't exactly quote me on that, but they have a spectacular record when Dylan Andrews in this season alone hits 2 threes. But it's not the 2 threes that told the story. What told the story for Dylan Andrews was the fact that he had 8 assists, 1 steal, and a turnover. So if you think about that in a plus-minus, he lost the ball once, and he stole it back defensively, and then was facilitating 8 of UCLA's 22 assists on their 26 made field goals. Sharing the basketball, spreading the wealth in a team-wide performance. You saw Stefanovic have 7 points. He took a lot of shots. We did see William Kyle get a bucket. The bench made some shots. This is a game where there wasn't Sebastian Mack really involved in this game at all. He had no points. He had 2 rebounds. He was a non-factor. That's usually a Mack attack. Your leading scorer didn't do a lot. And UCLA comes in, you're like, all right. And they still dominated Utah State. Ian Martinez, who is a really good scorer for the Aggies, 2 points, 1 of 11, 0 of 7 from 3. And that was the story of this game. Only 4 players for Utah State hit a 3. Most of them inefficiently. Tucker Anderson, you go with Dayton Albury. You mix in Mason Falslev, who went with 1 for 6 from 3. Ian Martinez, who is a much better shooter than 0 for 7. You mix in the cold, you mix in the moment, you mix in the UCLA defense. All of that combined, and the Bruins were like, all right, let's do it. That is sleepy UCLA basketball at its finest. And I thought UCLA would be able to do mostly what they wanted offensively. This is a matchup that would pride itself on that for the Bruins. I was wondering if the Bruins got outplayed by the bigs. That would be a problem. No. I look at the turnovers. UCLA, less than 10. Utah State, a little more than 11. So this wasn't a game determined by turnovers, but maybe that's a good thing. Because if UCLA can score 70 and they're going to turn it over less than 10 times, I like their chances in that game, in an NCAA tournament game. Now, they're going to need to force a lot more, a couple more, take advantage of more on these points off turnovers. But let's go back to that stat. UCLA, I mentioned as a key stat in turnovers. In this game, UCLA forced 11 turnovers against Utah State. 20 points off turnovers. The other day, I was speaking on this podcast about the importance for UCLA to take advantage. Which of these two teams that take care of the basketball, force a lot of turnovers, will capitalize? The Bruins did win the rebounding battle, but what told the story was even when Utah State was getting their own offensive rebounds, half of their rebounding came from offensive rebounds from as cold as they were from the field. The Bruins ripped it away, not too many times because UCLA averages close to 15 turnovers forced a game. It was the fact that they cashed in on it. It was dishing it out, moving it away. 9 fast break points, not exactly up to 16 for Utah State, but that meant the Aggies couldn't score in the half court. UCLA did what they wanted in the half court, got a couple more fast break points, and just dominated. Now, there were moments in this game in the first half. It was a little dicey. I won't mince words. But then Mata comes in, the run to end the half. UCLA's up 12. And this game was largely a laugher for the majority of the second half. And that's with 3 Bruins scoring 10 or more. And that's not even your leading scorer doing anything. That's not even Sebastian Mack. Kobe Johnson had 8 points. He had 2 blocks, a couple of assists, 8 rebounds. Important basketball from Johnson. The biggest thing was hopefully his ankle was okay when his foot got caught. And he still came back in, played 30 minutes in this game. And oh, by the way, how many minutes did Aday Mata play? 20. You know what that means. Cash that Bruin dub right there. All right. Now, the funny thing is it seemed like reacting to the social media and seeing everything about Mata, everybody's like, no, Cronin, don't put him in. You're up by 20. What are you doing? Oh, what about all those minutes in the Big Ten of the regular season? Well, he's fine. Hopefully. Building up his stamina, late game minutes for what he's going to have to play against Tennessee. What he's going to need to do to get this team to go further to a second weekend. And remember, UCLA, with Mick Cronin at the helm, at the minimum, has been a second weekend team. Whether they've overachieved, underachieved, or reached their full potential, they have gotten to a Sweet 16. That's something to take note of against Tennessee, a 2 seed, an SEC team, one of these mighty SEC superpowers. Look at what UCLA did. I saw Tennessee. I was like, okay, they're going back and forth in their first round game. They're in pretty much control. UCLA was really impressive against a Utah State team that finished 26-8. And that was without some important pieces, some regular rotation pieces doing just about anything in this game. I think that's pretty scary. Because then they can go, other than Aday Mata, flip it. You might see Bilodeau get hot from 3. You could see Kobe Johnson hit a couple more trays. Sebastian Mack could go right to the rack if Tennessee's going tough man-to-man, be physical against Ziegler, against the rest of the Tennessee guards who we'll talk about in the next pod. And then the Bruins they're dancing more. We got to believe. Of course, I already told you got to warn me when I'm going too far, but I don't think we're stretching too far here. UCLA wins 1. They got a little rest. Everybody's on even rest. They normally play bad in the first game of a traveling week. What are they going to do game 2? Cronin says it's all about the tournament. And the Bruins came out to play with a statement in game 1. What about game 2? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, I'm losing track. Maybe you're losing track too. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO that gives you full visibility and control over your finances. It's not just a budgeting app. It's complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place. You're not just managing money, you're building your wealth. And when you're going to start using Monarch, you'll realize, just like I did, the spending on food delivery and food and everything, wow, you budget smarter and you save more. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Imagine watching your favorite team live. Think about the Bruins, feeling the energy of the crowd, doing 8 claps all together in unison in Lexington, witnessing those unforgettable moments, and there's nothing like experiencing a big game in person. Come on, let's go. Make some noise. Getting tickets shouldn't be stressful, so that's where Game Time comes in. Makes it easier than ever to grab last-minute seats at unbeatable prices. All right, Game Time picks that curation, makes it easier to find better value for your tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Easy ticket shopping, and hey, look at check Game Time app. There's great deals all the time, and it'll give you that peace of mind. You can see where you're sitting before. You're not stuck behind a pole, or if you're willing to go for that, go for it. Game Time tells you all of that. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Oh boy, let's roll. Are you rolling? Are we rolling? Is this rolling? Yeah, we're moving on to the second round. UCLA taking down Utah State. I thought that'd be a dub. That's how it ends up being in this game. Ended up being in a dominant fashion, but if Utah State wasn't absolutely ice cold mixed in with some good UCLA defense, remember, think of the last 2 games UCLA's played right now. 19 made threes by the Badgers where they could not miss. And Utah State couldn't sink a 3 to save their college basketball, their NCAA tournament lives in this game. They couldn't keep dancing. So that means, of course, Tennessee, what's the middle between 19 and 4? They're going to hit somewhere between 10 threes. All right, yeah, who knows? But that just seems like the law of averages right now. Hopefully none of them are from half court or at the buzzer to break our hearts. Because this is a team that if UCLA wins one, I'm not thinking they're just going to stop at one win. All right? Kudos to Tennessee. Kudos to the Volunteers. Give them props. They're a good team. UCLA's not a team that, with the defense they play, the tenacity, how they share the basketball, maybe Skyy Clark's going to turn into a March superstar. Or Tyler Bilodeau is going to step up. Because this is a team with UCLA that can have different players step up in different matchups with a defense that travels. Maybe you need an athletic big. Oh, William Kyle comes in. Adai Mara clearly sets the tone. He plays 20 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. That's easy money. Put the bet on it with UCLA getting that dub if he plays 20 minutes. Okay? Because some of the biggest pieces did not make anything happen in this UCLA game. They did not against Utah State. I think that's scary for Tennessee. Yeah, one of your best players have a great day. Cool, you had first round against 215. All right. Let's go shock the world. Get to the Sweet 16. If you're in a dark March mindset and you're like, UCLA Gonzaga lead it. UCLA Gonzaga lead. That's out there still. Gonzaga dominated Georgia. Now that's a whole that's just me dreaming and going crazy. But let's be real here. It's not out of the question for UCLA to win this game. Now that crowd, I guarantee you, will be 90% Tennessee fans. This will be a road-like atmosphere. Not a true road game, but a road-like atmosphere in this upcoming battle. The defenses, you see Rick Barnes, you see Mick Cronin. Hey, UCLA with Mick Cronin, they get to the second weekend. Now I'm excited about their chances to keep going, to keep dancing, and we're going to have the next Locked On UCLA podcast episode more dedicated, preparing about what this team's going to face on Saturday at Rupp Arena. Because, hey, Kentucky's a big blue blood. How about the biggest blue blood goes on a run in 2025 and gets the first 2 wins of their run in Kentucky's own arena? and still might face them in the Sweet 16 if that's how it faces, if that's how it fares out, that's how it plays out. Okay, let's roll. UCLA dominant. The big fellow was great. The defense was spectacular. And Mick Cronin just like, shucks, that was exactly what he expected to have happen. It's a matchup zone, few days prepare, a week's worth of rest almost, and 2 Western teams going to the Eastern time zone. He's probably sitting behind the scenes just like with his evil Mick Cronin laugh. I don't know if he has one, but see his laugh, a little smile. He's like, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. And now his team's probably adjusted to the time zone. Tennessee's there. Like, let's bring it on. Bring it on, Volunteer fans. Bring on the smoke. I love Knoxville, but Tennessee, I'd like to say they might be going down on Saturday. I'm excited. I'm way too hyped. And of course, there's only so much to be taken from a beatdown. But Tennessee, they took a 15. It was a battle. Cool. Maybe not so much a battle, but they dominated that game at the end. Bring it on. Like, let's go. All right. Daylight savings has snuck up on us again. If you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5-Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament like I'm going to be, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up the busy day, 5-Hour Energy gives you that quick refresh and pick-me-up whenever you need it. And hey, you're feeling like you're going to stay up all night watching basketball. I've been up watching basketball, getting up early to do baseball. I need the energy. Head to 5hourenergy.com to check over the 15 flavors to choose from. Watermelon, blue raspberry, peach mango. You can even get your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. Right now, grab a 5-Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. Well, that's going to do it for us here with Locked On UCLA. Just reacting, just hyped, just super energetic. Big win, 72-47 over Utah State. And hey, Bruins fans, let's get a loud A clap. Next day, you got the UCLA women, then the UCLA men. Hopefully, then it's just going to stack on top of each other like the month of March turns into April. We're hopefully having a lot of fun. Okay, let's roll. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA fights. We're only just getting started. It's time to get your dancing shoes on because we're going to be dancing for a while. Hopefully. In the meantime, this has been Locked On UCLA. Zach signing off. Go Bruins. Let's go beat those Volunteers.